We will move to Pantelis Panteloglou.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here. I have to say that, in a way, the answer to your question is more or less the process you followed until you came to this point. So I suppose you already have an answer for it, but I will try to bring in a little bit of my ideas in this discussion. I'm here with two hats. I'm the Artistic Director of Olympia International Film Festival for Children and Young People, and also the President of the European Children Film Association. So, in a way, I'm representing those 170 organizations across 43 countries in Europe and beyond. And Creative Greece, the Hellenic Audiovisual Center, is itself a member of the ECFA. And I would like to mention with both my hats some important points while defining what the CIFEJ course of action should be from now on here in Greece. First of all, regarding production, the field of children's film production is being served by a number of players, of part of the film industry, at least in Europe. And there is a whole ecosystem that starts from development and then leads up to distribution. This ecosystem follows the mindset of the film industry ecosystem in general, in the way that films are planned, written, produced, how they end up. This is a very European way of doing stuff. I don't know if it is the best way to do it or if there are other options there, but this exists. And for me, it could be really important to work on definitions of what is a children's film, because it's very easy to say, to use the term without any further definition. And even better and even further, what childhood is nowadays, which for me is a very important question. Something that I'm also thinking is important is that the field of film education, both in Greece and in other countries, is generally underestimated. Although it is very common to listen to people praising the work being done by organizations like the members of the ECFA or like Olympia Festival, we usually do not mention the limitations and by two, for me, critical factors. One critical factor is the underinvestment of public organizations in this field, which is something that we see across Europe. The second thing is the lack of educational and training opportunities for professionals in this field, who are often considered good-hearted hobbyists with other ways to make a living, although they are trying to be professionals. This doesn't become easier when we mix a lot of different terms like, film education, media education, it's film, media, or audiovisual, and then it's education, training, or literacy. Not all terms are the same, and we should be working a little bit on definitions to really see whose responsibility is what. So taking into account those 3 points, I would say that any organization with an ambition to contribute to the field by investing significant resources, like CIFEJ is doing today, I think there should be some basic principles in mind. First, to confirm the big picture. There is a big picture. There is an environment we're working in which is defined more or less by the big tech companies. Things change fast. We need to see the challenges there and take a clear stance on it. Then we should be aware of a specialized market. It's not a big one. It's not very financially impressive. It doesn't produce profit in a strict sense, but it does produce some kind of social return mostly. And one of the things that is definitely needed is to see what's already around, what are the failures and the successes of the organizations who are already active. We need to understand what's the core of their best practices and invest time into creating structures that can welcome data that will help the market navigate as things change. So we need data. Being strategic requires staying relevant in a changing environment, which means actually that we need to work again and again on the definitions. And the third very important part, which I think CIFEJ is totally aware of, is that we need to avoid tokenism. We need to not to talk about children and their needs without including them in the discussion, but we need to work with the kids in order to define their needs and our course of action. So for me, this is the main way, the main issues and the main things that I expect CIFEJ see doing as it comes to Greece. As Athina already mentioned, there is a backbone here in Greece that's rather active. So maybe we can also help. But for me, this is the main point of concern where we are today. So yeah, Greece is a good place to be for this kind of discussion. But of course, it's a long discussion.